Well, this is overdue. What's up, pups? You been good? That's good. How am I? Over a year late. I was never happy about delaying these videos. My release list always made me feel proud as a critic. I've gone over the reasons why already, and honestly, I'm plenty tired of this shit. I'm also tired of holding on to these songs. I'm a golden god, I'm on the roof of the party. 2017 was a diverse year for music, not just in the scope of all the good songs I heard, but in all the bad ones. It's telling when your candidate list includes Drinkin' Too Much by Sam Hunt, Perplexing Pegasus by Ray Shremmerd, and Imperfection by Evanescence, and all of them don't make the list proper. You sure you want to know what I think is worse? For those who don't know, here are the guidelines for this list. Obviously, all entries have to be released in 2017, but there are some special exceptions to this rule. Either the song was released in December of the previous year, or the song was re-released sometime in 2017. This means an album re-release, a deluxe album release, a single release, pretty much anything that makes the song relevant in 2017, granted that the song was re-released within 2 years after the initial release. And just as there are exceptions, there are also exemptions made to this list. Those exemptions being any and all songs that made my year-end 2017 worst hit songs list. This includes any and all dishonorable mentions along with it. Partially because I don't want to repeat myself, but more so because I want to talk about other songs that aren't the hits. Oh, and one last thing, I'm not doing dishonorable mentions for this list. I've got enough to talk about as it is. Alright, let's get this started. These are the top 10 worst songs released in 2017. Number 10. Back in August of 2017, before Look What You Made Me Do was released, I started looking into songs from 2009 and 2010. More so because I couldn't find anything to inspire any hatred in me. And back when I ranked said shit song, I referenced this artist in particular. I like a decent amount of his singles, and it's a shame that he only has the one hit to his name, but I'm actually very happy he doesn't have pop relevancy now. Because, honestly, if this song became a hit, I would lose my shit. And not in a good way. I apologize for exposing you all to this. I mean, I'm assuming that your first exposure to Adam Lambert was this. Just don't give up. I'm walking it out. So, I can imagine the whiplash 2 fucks might have given you. Me, on the other hand, I've known Lambert to be a pop artist who can bring his own personality to whatever record executives and producers gave him to work with. He's got a stunning voice and a ton of charisma to go with it. And that is apparently where he does his best, because he actually helped write 2 fucks, and dear God, this hurts. Something I've realized about Adam Lambert is that, at his worst, his personality and his pipes can't compensate for shit lyrics and production. And where I've certainly heard worse, this thing just sounds so damn awkward. The strings that add faux elegance, the weird keys, and this trap beat that sounds like it wants to be the synths from Fairly Local but can't come to snuff. I'm fairly local. I've been around. I got that magic you call ADE. You could technically argue that the production does its job of expressing the I don't care attitude that this song is trying to express, but don't you dare ever tell me that these lyrics are good.
Trust my tarot cards, pink flamingos in my yard.
I trust my tarot cards too, and even they told me that that was a shit line.
I got that magic you call ADE. Read for them aliens different like me. Who can relate? Woo!
Let it go, let it go, let it go. There is worse to talk about.
See me talking to myself, cause no one gets me like myself.
I get that you don't give 2 shits, but would it kill you to try and come with something else for the word to rhyme with? You know, something I could defend you for here?
I've been this way since I was 12. I get
What? What was that?
I've been this way since I was 12. I get it.
Oh geez, that has got to be the limpest guitar line I've ever heard in my life. For as much as I could continue to say about the lyrics, I think the real crime in this song is Adam Lambert himself. He's a force of personality, and he's usually interesting to me, but here, he's just not good. The not caring attitude is the point of the song, but Adam can't sell that. He's clearly giving an all here, which just makes the song feel like it's for show. And with how awkward the melodies are, he just doesn't seem to know what to do with himself. Sir, I know you don't give two shits, but fuck off with this.
Namaste right here, right here, right here. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Number 9. As said before, the songs that make my worst hit songs list do not qualify for these particular year-end lists. That's why you didn't see this song on the ranking proper.
'Cause I'm all that you want, boy. All that you can have, boy. Got me spending.
Come on, Kumerai. 96 could do it with the music video, so can you. Ugh. Okay, truth be told, this is so low on the list because I only want to throw up when this music video is playing. My future self, the one that's editing this video, is probably struggling to get through it. But you can't call a song bad just because of the music video. You gotta have a reason for it. The summary version is just because of how pathetic this all sounds. This song comes on and all I want to do is facepalm myself over and over and over again. It's trying so hard to be shocking and it fails on all accounts.
I'm on the menu.
As my buddy Mr. 96 has pointed out, Bon Appetit is basically carry out if it took the food metaphors and swam further into the murky water than anyone wanted it to. I would bet money that there are people who have this type of fetish, and even they would think that this song goes too far. That's how far they carry the food metaphors.
Looks like you've been stabbing. You got those hungry eyes. Hope you got some room for the world's best cherry pie. You spread like a buffet. Bon appetit, baby.
Katie is about as soulless as ever, big shocker, and Migos are...
Sweet potato pie, it'll change your mind.
well, they're just being Migos all over the place. They're not trying and they're completely forgettable. Kinda like the music, actually. The synths sound like Katie's old music trying to be the new wave of trap music. And like most trap music I've listened to, it goes absolutely nowhere. There's no texture or personality or anything to really keep me engaged other than this gross music video. The song itself is just boring. In conclusion, there are several times where I begged the pop listening audience to not make something become a huge, massive success to where it makes the year-end Hot 100. And you know what? I'm happy this song did not get that success. Thank you, America.
I'm hearing voices in my head, and everything they said, it's never
NumberEight!
says. I got a burning in my heart, it's tearing me apart.
In fall of 2017, I did a collaboration with my buddy Finn, once running critic of a channel called The Social Tune. Still miss you, dude. Now, when we ranked the songs from that top 20, Finn made me aware of a song that was not a pop hit. A song by an artist that is quite possibly the worst one she's ever made. And who was that?
Baby, I'm sorry. Baby, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks for that, Finn. I appreciate it.
Lucky for you, I got all these daddy issues.
Not gonna front, this song made it here for the chorus alone, because...
Get all the therapy.
I don't consider myself an expert when it comes to having daddy issues. My father's not the best parent, but he's also not the worst one either. So I can't speak to whether or not the narrator's mindset in this song is realistic or not. I can, however, speak to how awful Demi sounds. Sweet fuck! You pups remember Cool for the Summer? You remember how many worst lists that song entered on? The people who said Demi wasn't singing well on it? Yeah, that one. Can someone explain to me how this...
Take me down into your paradise.
as bad as this? Enlighten me, please. I'd love to hear your argument about this. But moving on from the vocals, we have the quote-unquote gospel parts, and I'll be the first one to say that I'm not an expert on this genre of music. Like, I need to educate myself more. But if it sounds anything like this, I really don't want to.
I call you too much.
The majority of the song is composed of synths, a fuzzy bass, and a drum machine that mostly uses snapping for the percussion. That's bad enough, and bringing the harsh piano chords into the chorus really didn't help matters either. But then on the second chorus they decided to add more elements to it, and I will give you one tormenting guess what happens. I know I've said this at least once now, but can someone say overproduced clusterfuck? And all the bits meet up at the end to create a horrible final chorus and outro. Wonderful! God.
Hey, I think I'm losing my mind now.
NumberSeven.
Shine so bright, this star's gonna burn out.
Since I brought up my friend Finn, something you'll realize if you watch his videos, his worstless especially, you'll hear him saying this very often.
I am not a fan of repetition in music.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm as vulnerable to that, but that doesn't mean the critique doesn't have any merit. Case in point, Buckley's worst song of 2017.
Bounce, 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 bouncing.
Be honest, how many of you only know about this song because of Buckley? I wouldn't blame you. Me, on the other hand, I was aware of this song around the time the music video came out. I knew it would make my worst list first listen through, but even as I was making the list for this video, I almost forgot about it. If that doesn't tell you how forgettable the song is, I don't know what will. Actually, now that I think about it, the song only stuck with me because of the music video. It has shots of women, including Iggy, twerking before jumping to kids dancing to the song. Talk about uncomfortable transitions. I don't feel like talking about the production much. There's really nothing that grabs my attention. And the lyrics, well...
Bounce, 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 bounce.
That's pretty much all you get. There is, however, one thing I'd like to ask. Does Iggy sound checked out to anybody else but me?
When the shit goes down, the block get out.
Or is that just the beat messing with the vibe that she's going for? I don't know, I don't care, and I feel like very few people involved with this cared, which is the only reason the song's above daddy issues. Next song, please.
Oh, bounce in the motherfucking house.
You know I never mean well. I can't
NumberSix.
be placed right under the spell.
I'm a bit of a European mutt. I've got a few nationalities in me. Two of them are Irish and Scottish. Whenever this song comes on, those parts of me feel insulted. That's never happened before.
Way up, way up, way up to the sky. When everybody here is sneaking in and getting high.
I feel like this is desperately trying to be a pub song, you know? A song you sing along to when you drink too much with your buddies. Which must have been what the producers were when they made this, cause dear God!
Enough, enough. There's no celebrities here.
Everything about this sounds clanky and stiff. AJR sound like a bunch of old guys trying to make music that sounds cool and just failing at every angle. Hell, I don't support Burn the House Down, but I would argue that it's one of the better things I've heard them make, if only because the song doesn't sound like an unfocused pile of shit. It has dynamics, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and it's produced in a way that each part flows into each other. Does it make it a good song? Not really, but it does make it a more enjoyable one. But Like You, on the other hand, is the messiest song I've heard in my life.
Way up, way up, way up to the sky.
We start off with this acoustic guitar with a hook that, again, sounds like it's trying to be a pub song, but in all honesty, it actually sounds okay. I was almost able to get into it. And then we get to the first verse, and the guitar disappears.
Enough, enough.
What 808 setting did they use for this horn line? Or was it GarageBand?
It's you and I.
Actually, can it be GarageBand? I don't want to believe that there's a device out there that can make this cheap of a sound. Also, can we not with the trap beat?
It's you and I.
With the exception of Old Town Road, I'm on a level of done with trap that I can't even describe. Because usually when it's not monotonous, it just keeps adding things to the song that just makes it worse.
Kicking in the basement, kicking in the basement.
My point. Actually, the pre-chorus is one of the least offensive parts about the song. However, the strings give it no more weight than the rest of the music did. The only reason it exists is to try and make the acoustic guitar coming back for the hook make sense. And even if it succeeded, they just couldn't help giving the only redeemable part about the song a makeover. What even is this? It sounds like someone singing while fireworks are launching and two robots are having an argument. If you think they can't make this any worse, let me just take a second to remind you of the broken vocal trend that was briefly a thing. Good! Now that you have that in your head, take the awful production in the chorus, break it apart, and turn it into a bridge. A part of me wants to appreciate what the song was going for, especially at the second to last chorus. It's trying to do nothing more than celebrate friends that the narrator can relate to, and this part of the song feels genuine and earnest. But then the song reminds you what you're listening to, and we end on a very big sour note. Despite all of this, it's only number 6, because mess though it may be, I'm sure we're all gonna forget about it once this video's over.
It's like a monster in the night. It's giving me a fright.
Number 5!
Fight. Is it a city or a sin? Or when did I begin?
I'm not gonna lie to you, pups. I almost don't know what to say about this one. I mean, to their credit, this is better than the last time I heard their music, but I just hate this. I sincerely struggle trying to put to words why I don't like this song because, well, the hook's actually kind of good. It's catchy, it's bouncy, and I would be lying if I said I hated it completely. So, how did it beat out Bud Like You? Dynamics. Tonal dynamics, to be precise.
Intoxicated by my depression.
The verses and bridge are tense. It's got some angst and edge, i.e. the opposite of the bouncy chorus. And as if those weren't bad on their own, we still have vocal effects on the lead singer. In the verses, she sounds like she's saying too close to the mic, while in the chorus, she sounds unnatural. The lyrics don't match up with its happy tone and fun vibe in the slightest. And the bridge? It marries both of those parts.
Yes, I know I've lost what you call control. The control isn't real.
Although, what really ruined this was that final chorus. Just, why?
I do not think you heard me when I said.
However, it's not just the music choices that put the song up here. The lyrics are really a set that I just can't ignore. Actually, they're the second biggest reason that this song made it here.
'Cause if my body is a temple, why does it hurt like hell?
Temple is a song about mental illness. The lead singer never specified what kind exactly, but from the line I just played, I can assume that it's about self-image and beauty. Why do I have to assume that? The vagueness in this song doesn't make it more relatable, it makes it confusing. If not for lines about her looking at her reflection, I would have assumed something was physically wrong with her and she was begging her doctor to give her answers about the pain she's in.
Yes, I know I've lost what you call control.
Oh, and one more thing before I move on. While writing the critique for this song, I tried finding a fan-made lyric video just to listen to and remind myself of my thoughts. It's easier to focus on that than watching the music video. And no joke, there's not a single lyric video for that anywhere on YouTube. This song is 2 years old. It was released as a lead single along with its own music video, and yet not one fan made a video for its lyrics. I think that expresses the quality value of this song better than I ever could.
Somebody call the doctor. Yeah, I think I'm
NumberFour.
having trouble finding a way out. Shine so
R.I.P. Willy Wonka, watch the roof come off. I pull up in that can.
Oh, look at that! The worst song off of the worst album in 2017, and yet it's only at number 4. Yippee! Truly, there is nothing much worth noting in this. It's a creepy and boring beat that makes Swaying by Ray Shremmer more enjoyable by comparison. And honestly, the only reason I remember this song is because of my original script for this video. Fitting, considering the album it came off of.
I be riding through the town, my music loud.
Macklemore's Gemini was a slog, through and through. The only memorable song was Good Old Days, but that's entirely because Kesha handled the hook. Macklemore's a complete non-presence in Gemini's entirety, this shit pile with Offset being no exception. Ryan Lewis may have been a patchy producer, but if he's the one that made Mac sound good, then the breakup was a mistake.
Willy Wonka, purple poor dudes, blowing all this money like a flute.
And back on the subject of Offset, his contribution is meaningless. You might as well have given the entire song to Macklemore. The bragging is limp, and not a single line is memorable. I don't know about you, pups, but I don't think either Willy Wonka would want to be associated with this song. Number 3! As said before, the songs that make my worst hit songs list do not qualify for these particular year-end lists. That's why you didn't see this song on the ranking proper. Last time with this guy.
I like bitch, you was your mess, ayy. Can't keep my dick in my pants, ayy. My bitch don't love me no more.
What should I say at this point? What can I say at this point that isn't literally kicking a dead horse? It's noisy, it's abrasive, it barely qualifies as a song, the lyrics are garbage. Do I get its appeal? No. Do I think it's worth looking back on? Not really. Do I need to drag X's criminal allegations into this? Not even close. This song could have come from any other human being, and it still would be just as bad with or without their history thrown into the mix. It's a trash heap of a song that deserved every ounce of shit it got in 2017, regardless of the person it came from. May I never speak of him again.
I got lean on my zoomies, ayy. I got a Uzi, no Uzi.
Learning how to sink before I take the dive.
Number 2!
A map that only shows me where I am now.
Oops, I did it again.
Okay. Brace yourselves, pups. This is gonna hurt. This is even worse in hindsight. Forget Bud Like You, this is the overproduced clusterfuck. In this 3-minute, 44-second song, its 3 drops take up 1 minute, 28 seconds of it. That's almost half the song. Not only that, but the chopped up drops take place at the chorus. Fuck everything. You know, for a song called Young and Menace, this sure sounds old and desperate. Patrick Stump's vocals are god-awful. They're pitched and layered in a way that makes him sound like he was singing into a fan, and they sound especially bad when he goes for his higher register. The production got the song here with ease, but even if it didn't, the lyrics would've. I mean, forget the Britney Spears reference we got. Who the hell gave these guys permission to reference Nikki Sixx and the Heroin Diaries?
Kill me twice like my name was Nikki Sixx. You can't quit until you try. You can't live until you die.
According to Genius, the song is about feeling like an outsider within a community. But it doesn't sound that way, as if it's too woke to even come close to that. For the longest time, this was the worst song of the year. End of discussion. It's loud, it's abrasive, and it overstays its welcome before even a minute is gone. And yet, I still found a song that was worse. What could it be? Don't lose your earplugs, pups. Trust me.
Way too long.
Number 1.
Oh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Well, this still sucks. Nice to know I was right almost 2 years later. There were several things that were bad about Look What You Made Me Do, but one thing almost everyone brought up was the title, which usually makes me think of this.
There! Look there! See what you made me do!
And yet somehow reminds me more of this. Damn it, Alpha, look what you made me do.
Hey, I told you that tablecloth was hand wash only.
Yeah, that doesn't fit, but imagine a song that could make you feel as uncomfortable as the title did. A song that tries to rape your ears just by its very sound, but whose lyrics just make it even more discomforting. That, pups, that's my worst song of the year. And with the exception of right before the end of the video, I refuse to address it by name, just because of how unsettling it is to me. That all being said, I hope you're ready for this, because I'm not. You see why I'm not saying the title more than once? This song manages to be one of the worst Visual Kei experiences I've ever had. Because, as longtime pups may recall, Dottorama has actually made previous year-end best lists. Yeah, we remember this, right? The metal ballad that made the best list for 2016? Yeah, same band! This is just sad. Like, this isn't abnormal territory for Dottorama, but it's still a huge letdown. Through all the time I had known Dottorama, I only knew them for their emotional but loud sound. So it wasn't shocking that my reaction to this felt like the biggest punch to the gut in a while. It especially felt like it because they released this song not long before it. What I've learned since then about Dottorama is that they actually have a sleazy side to their music. They're not shy, but even as far as that goes, they still could have been done better. This is tense and uncomfortable from the very beginning, which usually isn't a deal breaker for me, and it wasn't. Until the verses started. These are unsettling. They remind me of Smack That by Akon, and the less I talk about that song, the better. Yoshiatsu, the lead vocalist, sounds like the drunk flirt of the bar in this part of the song, while in the pre-chorus he sounds like whatever the hell that's supposed to be. God! I know most of you pups don't listen to metal, but here's the first sign you're listening to a bad metal song. When you can hear the audio spikes when the vocalist screams. That's just bad production right there. Skip the mixing that was put into those awful effects. And then there's the chorus. Worst part of the song, hands down. Don't worry, you heard that exactly right. Honestly, I could make a top 20 list of all the bad lyrics in this, but that line just takes the cake. How can you confuse me while being sleazy? Who's receiving this service? Why should you be paid for it? How is this speaking the truth in any way? Is this a metaphor for something? Possibly, but it doesn't come across with them speaking in English. Even with VK groups like Nocturnal Bloodlust, they didn't dive right into songs in complete English. They took their time and learned what they were saying. So that way, even though they couldn't speak English fluently, they knew enough to get their message across. Dottorama clearly didn't do that. Whatever song idea they had for this got lost because of that, and that's with me granting them the benefit of the doubt. Without that, this tasteless, gross song has no real purpose other than to scare people away from sexual encounters. It's musical porn done in the worst fashion imaginable for this genre of music, done by a group that I know can do better, even in this lane of their music. To put this in perspective, Young and Menace was a letdown coming from Fall Out Boy, and it made me avoid that group for a whole 6 months. This song, on the other hand, made me avoid Dottorama for well over a year after I heard it, and even now, I'm hesitant about diving back into their music. That's how traumatizing this is. And there you have it. Masturbation by Aroma. Possibly the worst song this group has ever released, and my pick for the worst song released in 2017. Before we go, I just want to give a quick shout out to my Patreon pup, Name Withheld. Name Withheld, thank you very much for your support these last few months. It really means a lot to me that you decided to give as much as you did, and I cannot describe how grateful I am that you stuck with me despite the lack of content these last few months. If there's anyone out there who wants to be a Patreon pup as well, there's a link in the description below, as well as at the end of the video. Just $1 gets your name in the end credits of my videos from here on out. Thank you, pups, for watching this video. The best list is coming next, so stay tuned for that. But until then, I hope y'all have a howlin' good time.